Guys, in this tutorial we will learn EEPROM with Arduino. Let me tell you best application of EEPROM. Your home energy meter, or what you can say power meter. It has EEPROM. Why? Even if electricity is cut off, your previous reading is stored in the EEPROM and later displayed on the LCD when power is turned on. So this is the one application where EEPROM is used. So in the next 15 minutes you will definitely understand more about EEPROM. What is EEPROM? How to use EEPROM? What are the applications of EEPROM? What are the memory types? How to use them with Arduino? So these are the functions we need to know while using EEPROM: read, write, clear, update, put, get. There are 8 examples included with EEPROM library, and the code within them will assist you in writing your own code with the Arduino board. You can see here. In examples, you can see here is the EEPROM. These are the 8 examples. You can see this one. So read function is used to read bytes stored in the EEPROM, and write function is used to write bytes into the EEPROM, and clear function is used to clear the EEPROM memory. And whatever the update function is used to write bytes only if previously stored values are different to increase the life of EEPROM. Put and get methods are used when we use multiple variables, or you can say objects that holds multiple variables. Hope you guys support us by like, share and subscribe. Also check more videos on my YouTube channel. This is the third lecture, second lecture. Also check more Arduino projects here, and please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. Okay. Memory. There are 3 poles of memory in the Arduino microcontrollers. That is flash memory. Usually it stores a program space. SRAM, where your program stores and manipulates variables. And the EEPROM. EEPROM is a memory space where you can save your favorite settings. The flash memory and the EEPROM are non-volatile, means the data retains even if power is turned off. SRAM is a volatile, means data will be cleared if power is turned off. Memory. ROM, read only memory. Flash memory that are programmed at a factory and cannot be changed. Let's take an example of your digital watch or a calculator. The software is hard-coded into the memory. EEPROM is a erasable programmable read-only memory. This is a user programmed, but it requires a special burner to this memory, and you will like to erase the data. So mostly this is not used in the today's applications. EEPROM, electrically erasable read-only memory. EEPROMs are user programmed and does not require any special burner. So this memory is widely used in today's applications. EEPROM, electrically erasable read-only memory, developed in 1973 and patented by NEC in 1975. Available in both serial and parallel data bus communication. Microcontrollers like 328 as internal EEPROM. You all are well known of these calculators. This calculator won't store any previous answers and clears RAM if turned off. But this scientific calculator has memory to store the previous answers, which is stored in the EEPROM and can be cleared with shift 9 3 equals to AC. So the software running on these calculators are stored in the ROM, and that variables manipulating displayed on the screen is the values in the RAM, and then the previous answer stored in the EEPROM. So here is the one more example to clear your doubts. Here the programming sketch is stored in the ROM, and the manipulating values are stored in the RAM, right? This stopwatch resets to 0 if powered powered off, and in this digital clock the alarm and timing sets are stored in the EEPROM memory. EEPROM limitations. EEPROM supports limited number of rewrites up to 2 million and data is written about 10 years at room temperature. So these are all about the limitations of EEPROM. EEPROM with Arduino. EEPROM are of two types, internal EEPROM and external EEPROM. Add EEPROM to our project is quite easy and allow our project to retain data after powered down. This can be very useful for the applications where user want to store his favorite settings. We can add EEPROM to our Arduino projects. In fact, the Arduino already has some internal EEPROM that we can use in our programs. The amount of memory depends upon which Arduino board you are using. For example, Arduino Uno has 1 kilobyte EEPROM, and for the Arduino Mega it has 4 kilobytes EEPROM. The chip on the Arduino Uno has following amount of memory. In many designs, this EEPROM memory is sufficient. But in case if your project need more memory, you need to add a external EEPROM. External EEPROM. If your design requires more EEPROM capacity, then you need to add a external EEPROM. EEPROM operates at a bit level, 1 bit at a time. Using I2C device with the EEPROM with an Arduino is very simple to use external EEPROM, since Arduino has a connection for I2C and libraries to use them. AT24LC256. It is a 256 kilobit EEPROM, means 32 kilobytes, which is 32 times higher than Arduino Uno internal EEPROM. This external EEPROM uses I2C connections and has a 3 address lines which allows up to 8 devices on a same bus. You can see here 3 address pins, and this is the I2C pins, SCL and SDA, and this is a good for 1 million rewrites. So this is the I2C EEPROM model. Many of I2C EEPROMs can be configured with a unique address that allows us to add a multiple device on a same I2C bus. For example, I2C LCD display and EEPROM on a same I2C bus. You can see here these are power pins, and you can see these are the I2C connections, SDA and SCL, and address can be selected from here, A0, A1 and A2, and WP means write protected. EEPROM library. EEPROM library is already installed in your Arduino IDE. Arduino IDE comes with an 8 examples included in Arduino IDE. To use EEPROM library for Arduino boards, we need to include this header file, eeprom.h, in our Arduino sketch. Note, this library only works with an internal EEPROM. To use an external EEPROM, you need different library for the external EEPROM. I will show you examples. You can see here these are the 8 examples. We will start our EEPROM experiment using the internal EEPROM in the Arduino. For our experiment, I am using an Arduino Uno. In order to demonstrate the internal EEPROM, we need a potentiometer to our Arduino project. I don't have a potentiometer right now, so I am going to write 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence up to 254 in the EEPROM. Let's start. So this is a code I have already written. I am going to write from 1 to 254. So in the place of I am going to pass I. So now I am going to connect this. So now I am going to connect this Arduino Uno to my computer. You can see here Arduino board is connected to COM3. I am going to upload this code. It is compiling now. So the code is uploading. Code is uploaded. So this will write. I will explain this code. So I have used this EEPROM library to use internal EEPROM. In the void setup, I am going to write from 0 to 254. In the address 0, I am going to write 0. In the address 2, I am going to write 2. In the address 5, I am going to write 5. So this is up to 254. This is a writing code. Now I am going to use EEPROM read. I have written code for the EEPROM read. So this is a code for the EEPROM read. So the read value is stored in this variable called value, and the address starts from the 0 up to 255. I am going to read all the addresses from 0 to 255, right? Let me explain this code. So guys, in this code, I am going to use this EEPROM library. Then I am going to take this address starts from 0 up to 255. So when it reaches to 255, the value becomes 0 again. This is an increment. In the next, the variable read from the EEPROM memory is stored in the variable called value. I am also going to print it on the serial monitor. So I have taken serial begin to initialize the serial communication. Then I am going to read the address from 0 to 255. This one. Next. So this will read only up to 254 because the condition is after the reading value. Then the read values, the address of each address is printed. Then next the value is printed. So you will get the answer that I am going to upload this code. You will get the answer that 0 0 1 1 2 2 3 3 up to 254. Let me change this delay. So the code is uploading now. Uploaded. You can see here the values are going to print like this. In the place of 70 address, the value is 70. You can see up to 250. So when it reaches to 254, A's address is set to 0. So this is how read and write function works. Now I am going to clear all this EEPROM memory. In the inbuilt example, go to EEPROM, then clear. This EEPROM will clear. How this EEPROM is cleared? So we have understand about the EEPROM write function and EEPROM read function. So now we are going to clear. In this clear example, what happens? It fills all the EEPROM address with the 0 bytes. You can see this logic in the for loop. In the for loop, it is started from I equals to 0 up to EEPROM length I plus plus is I is equals to 0 1 2 3 4 5 up to EEPROM length. For example, EEPROM length for the Arduino is 1 kilobyte. So I equals to 0 to 1024. All the bytes are written as 0. So I am going to explain in this code. You can see here. What happens here? All the bytes are set to 0, right? In this loop, when it is done, the 13 number LED is turned on. So this is an inbuilt LED. So you can see the Arduino Uno has 1 KB of EEPROM. Then it will write up to 1024. From 0 to 1024, I plus plus 0 1 2 3 4 up to 124. When it reaches to 1024, this LED will becomes high. Now I am going to upload this code. You can see this one. See the LED, the code is uploaded. Now this LED will turn on. Yes, I am going to reset it again. This will write again, set all bytes to 0. Yes, successful. Now I am going to show you this example with reading. I am going to read it now. using this EEPROM read. So you can see all the bytes are set to 0. Yes. Now I am going to write only 5. I am going to write here 5. All the addresses are filled with a 5 using this EEPROM write. See, all the bytes are written with 5. So now I am going to read this. This is a code for the reading. So this will read up to 255. You can see in the serial monitor all the values are updated to 5. So you are cleared with the EEPROM clear function, right? Now we will use EEPROM update. What is the use of this EEPROM update? This function will write a byte to the EEPROM only when the value is different from the previous saved value in the same address. For example, 5 is stored in the all position. Then when I am going to write this same value, it will not write. So when I am going to write some another value, it will write to the all addresses. So this function will check whether the previous value is equal to new value or not. So in this way, this EEPROM update function will save the EEPROM life. Now I am going to use this EEPROM update function. So in this, first of all, I am going to write 0 to 254. In the place of 0, I am going to write 0. In the place of 1, I am going to write 1. In the place of 2, I am going to write 2. So this is up to 254. So here, after this completion, later I am going to write in the position 3, I am going to write 12. This will write for the first time, but later it will not write. So let's upload this code. So the code is uploading now. Uploaded. Now I am going to read this using this read function. So the code is uploaded for the read function. Now I am going to print it on a serial monitor. You can see for the first time it is writing. Let me clear this. Okay. So for the first time it will write 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. But in the 3 position it will write 12. Why? So 3 is updated to the 12. But it will not write other numbers because it is already existed at the same address. So 3 is a different, this 12 is a different at the 3 position. So this value is updated at the 3 address. Now we will use put method. So why this put method is used? This method is used to write any data types or objects to the EEPROM. Instead, so what is the difference between put and write function? In the write function, it will write a single bytes on the EEPROM memory, but using put method, you can write an object or more than single bytes, single variable. Using this method, you can write an object or a multiple variables to the EEPROM. This function uses EEPROM.update function to perform the write, so does not rewrite the values if it doesn't change. So this put method is a combination of EEPROM write and a EEPROM.update. So this is syntax for the EEPROM put function. Now I am going to use this put method. It is given in the inbuilt example. Put. So you can see here. So this shows how to use EEPROM put method. So you can see here they have used EEPROM library. Then object is created with the 3 variables, that is field 1, field 2 and the character. So here, so they have passed 3 values, that is float value, integer and the string, right? So all this. So what is objects? Object is a combination of multiple variables. So they have created a custom var. This is an object. Then first of all they are going to write this float value from starts from address 0. So this will take a position 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. So after 6 it will write this object 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. So total this up to 19, this will consume up to address 19. So first of all, how this works, this address is incremented with size of float. First of all, this size of float is 7, then later it is updated to 7. After that, from the latest value of this E address is 7, right? So it will start printing from 7 8 9 10 11 12. This is how this put method works. So guys, let me explain once again. First of all, there are two variables here. They have created one object which includes a float, integer and a string. Float, integer and string, right? Also they are going to store the float value in the EEPROM. This consumes a position from address 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. So the value of E address becomes size of float, that is, let me explain you, this is 6, right? 6, and the previous value address of it is 1. So the value here it becomes it becomes 7. So from the 7 these bytes are stored up to 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 up to 19. So the E address up to 19 it will store these bytes. Up to 7 it will store these bytes. So now I am going to upload this code. So it is uploading, the code is uploaded. So now you can see return float data types and custom data type. This is an object and this is a float value which is written this object, and this is the float value. Now what they are saying, to view the example sketch EEPROM Get. So we are going to open this example EEPROM Get. What is the use of this EEPROM Get? Read any data types or object from the EEPROM. To use this EEPROM Get, we need to use this function EEPROM Get address and data. So this is a code for the EEPROM Get. So this is also the same. The first variable, this one float value, is going to store in the variable f, and it starts reading from the 0. Then after that the address, yes, the E address is updated to the float value. So this gets the float data from the EEPROM at the position E address. So what is the E address here? The E address is 0, and the variable is going to store in the f, this f. Then it is also going to print on a serial monitor. So for the second one, this custom data type, in here they have created an object to read 3 fields, that is field 1, field 2 and the string. So after that the size of float is defined. So here the size of float, what is the size of float we get is up to 7, right? Then the address E address becomes 7. From 7 it is going to read custom var, which is written in the previous example here, custom var, this one. So we are going to get this data using this get method. So all these variables are stored in the field 1, field 2 and name. This is a float, this is a integer, and this one is a string. So let's upload this code. So the code is uploaded. Now you can see here this is working. First of all, read custom data from object is 3.165 and work. Wait, I'm going to reset it. You can see here. So in the previous EEPROM put method, I have written a float value and the object, right? So now it will going to print here. This is a float value previously stored and the object. So this is a 0 address 1 2 3 4 5 6 up to 6 address. It is a float value, and from 7 to 19 it is a object value. So guys, we have learned all functions of EEPROM using EEPROM put, get, update, clear, read, write. So guys, this much for today. Hope you learned something new in this video. We will meet in the next lecture with new topics. Support us by like, share and subscribe. Thank you.